Hi, this is Jaya. In this video, we shall see the summary of Richard II by William Shakespeare. Come, let's go to the summary. First, we will see the main characters. The main character is, of course, Richard II, who is the King of England. Who is this Richard II? He is the grandson of King Edward III and the son of Edward, Prince of Wales. But what happens is, Prince of Wales dies in a battle, and after Edward III, Richard II becomes the King of England, and at that time he is only 10 years old. So, all the other nobles rule England on his behalf and they help him throughout. And Richard II has ruled England for 20 years from 1377 to 1399. Actually, the last 2 years of his rule only are very important, and that is what we will be seeing in this play. And then, of course, we have Richard II's queen. And then the next main character is John of God, who is the Duke of Lancaster and is the uncle of Richard II. And we have Henry Bolingbroke, who is the son of John of God. And we have Duchess of Gloucester, who is the brother of John of God. And we have Duke of York, who is also another uncle of Richard II. And Duchess of York is the wife of Duke of York. And Duke of Umberley is the son of Duke of York. And then we have another important character who is Thomas Mowbray and Duke of Norfolk. And Sir Piers Extant is the character who comes in the end, but he is the person who kills Richard II in the play. Now, when we see this play starts with Mowbray and Bolingbroke accusing each other. And the reason is Duke of Gloucester is killed. And Bolingbroke says that it is Mowbray who has actually been behind this murder. And Mowbray says, no, I am innocent. And what Richard does is, instead of inquiring about what has happened and finding out the truth, he says that both of them have to fight, and whoever wins will be the person who is on the right side, which is not the actual way to give judgment to any case. And here what happens is, on the day of the trial, when Mowbray and Bolingbroke are about to begin the fight, suddenly Richard stops the fight. And he says, okay, Mowbray is banished from England permanently, and he also banishes Bolingbroke for 10 years from England. And Mowbray takes leave and he leaves England and he goes off. And Richard II sees John of God, who is uncle, and finds out that he is already very old and also sick, and is so very unhappy when he heard that his son is being banished from England for 10 years. So he reduces this period of 10 years to 6 years just to make his uncle happy. And Bolingbroke also goes off because it is the king's order. And Richard has to go to Ireland because he has to fight a battle there. But at the same time, he finds out that there is no money left because he has already spent a lot of money. So he asks for loan from the nobles, and actually he compels them to give the loan, and he also sells his right to taxes to get money. And then he gets information that John of God is very sick, because already we know that he was old and sick, and now because of his son's banishment he is being affected and he is almost in his deathbed. So Richard goes there to meet him, and when he goes there, he calculates how much of money Gaunt has, and he thinks that if God dies means now Bolingbroke is banished from England. So he can easily take away all the money. And as expected, John of God dies, and Richard takes away all his estate and all his property, and even the title Duke of Lancaster, which all this actually must be going to Bolingbroke. But because he needs money, he takes off all this, which is not accepted by many people. Now Bolingbroke comes to know that Richard has taken away his title, that is the Duke of Lancaster, and also all his property, and this becomes an excuse for him to fight against England, because now he has many people to support him, because many feel that what Richard II has done is wrong. But at the same time, Richard is not in London, but he is in Ireland, and Duke of York only is there in the place of Richard II ruling England. So Bolingbroke goes and he tells to York that he has come with an army to England, and Duke of York says it is not correct to wage a battle on England. But at that time, Bolingbroke says, see, I just want only my title, that is the Duke of Lancaster, that title, and my father's property, which is actually mine. So I want that, and I don't want anything more. I have not come here for the throne of England or anything. I have nothing against Richard II. I want what belongs to me. And Duke of York feels that he is correct, so he gives back whatever belongs to him. And at this time what happens is Richard goes to Ireland and finds that the Welsh army has waited for his army to come, and because they have not turned up, they have disbanded and they have gone back to their home. And now he does not have that much money to pay for the soldiers to bring back to England, so he sends off all the soldiers back to their own places. And only after coming here he finds out that Bolingbroke has come with a huge army to fight with them. And he understands that the Duke of York also has given him his northern castles and everything to Bolingbroke, and he understands that if he fights with Bolingbroke now, he will be easily defeated, so he wants to avoid the war. And so what happens is he goes up straight away to his Flint castle. And Bolingbroke, what happens is he goes and he finds Bushy and Green, who are very close to Richard II, and he kills them. And then he takes his army and he goes to the Flint castle and orders Richard to give back his land and his inheritance, like all his property. And Richard II also, what happens is he does not want to fight with Bolingbroke, so he comes down and he tells to him, I will listen to whatever you say, and I am also willing to come to London along with you. So Bolingbroke brings Richard II to London. But on the way itself, like everyone knows that Richard II is actually a very good person, and Bolingbroke particularly knows that people love him a lot, and there is always loyalty towards the throne. That is, whoever is the king, the people will be faithful to them. And so he realizes that unless Richard II himself voluntarily, willingly gives the throne to Bolingbroke, he will not be able to become the king of England. So he wants that to happen. And so he calls Richard to come to the parliament. And Richard comes, he comes with his sceptre and his crown. And first he tells Bolingbroke to seize the crown from him. But then later on, he himself invokes a coronation ceremony and he gives all his powers to Bolingbroke. And Bolingbroke also agrees to let Richard go, because now he himself has given the crown to Bolingbroke. So Bolingbroke becomes the king of England. So now he says, okay, I am pardoning you, and he sends him to the Tower of London. And Henry Bolingbroke assumes the name Henry IV. And when Richard is taken to the Tower of London, his queen sees him and she also wants to go along with him. But what happens is Lord Northumberland, he finds something wrong. So he tells her not to go to the Tower of London, but to go to France and to stay with her brother there, because she is from France. And after Richard II is sent to the tower also, Bolingbroke somehow feels that Richard II is always a threat to his throne. And when he is expressing his fears, Sir Piers Exton overhears it, and he decides to go to Pomfret and kill Richard. And here what happens is many people feel that Bolingbroke has come to the throne in a way which they cannot accept, because Richard II has to nominate his heir, and actually he has nominated Mortimer as his heir. And Bolingbroke becoming the king is not accepted by many people. So the Duke of York's son Umberley, he organizes, he plots against Bolingbroke with a few of his friends and supporters of Richard II. And he thinks that it is better he fights with him now itself and hands over the throne back to Richard II. But the letters which he has written comes into the hands of his father, the Duke of York. And Duke of York feels that whoever is the king, they have to be loyal to him, and if they go against him, they are traitors. And even if it is his son, he is a traitor. So he feels that he has to go and inform King Henry IV about his son's treason. Now Umberley has no other way but to get the mercy of Henry, otherwise he knows that he will be killed. So he, along with his mother, the Duchess of York, they go to London to get to ask forgiveness from Henry, and Henry also listens to whatever they say and he grants him mercy, but he kills all his friends because again they should not unite and go against him. So when the Duke of York comes and tells him, he says that he has pardoned him and he need not be punished for what he has done. At the same time, Exton, he comes to Pomfret and he attacks Richard and kills him. And then Exton takes his body so that Henry IV can see his body and be relieved that Richard II is dead. But actually what happens is Henry IV is not happy to see Richard II dead, because till Richard II is alive only, his supporters will not attack him. But if he is dead means the blame will fall on him and people will go against him. So he is very unhappy that Richard II is dead. And the play actually ends here by Henry IV taking a vow that he will take a trip to Holy Land of Jerusalem to purify himself from whatever part he had to play in Richard II being killed. So this is what happens in the play Richard II, and the continuation of this play only is Henry IV part 1, which the video I will be making in that will be my next video. So please watch that also, and if you have anything more to add on to this, please write it in the comment box. Like the video, share it with your friends, and if you are not subscribed my channel, please subscribe. Thank you.